Liquorland are proud partners of the DeeBrief for another season of footy. Liquorland have all your drink needs for when the siren calls. Pop into your local Liquorland today or shop online to pick up all your favourites in time for the game. Liquorland, from the land you love. Please drink responsibly. Let's get into it. Gawny could be back. We shall see, as Melbourne look to respond after their dismal day against the Dons with victory against the Tigs on a very special Anzac Eve night. Welcome to the official, unofficial podcast of the Melbourne Demons. Adrian Horton with you, and it's a big night. Big night, because we've got Scotty Horton in the studio all the way from Croydon.
And I fit in the studio. How good is this?
It's big.
All the way from Croydon.
I know.
What was it, hour and a half?
No, mate, it's 35 minutes.
35 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got mates that ring me. I'm on my way to South Canberra. Like, you can all get stuff.
Yep, no, mate, it is an absolute pleasure.
Thank
to have
you,
in
mate.
here. And let's not forget, we need to make mention, the little ones in here as well.
Yeah,
Will.
we got the little bloke school holidays, so...
Shout out, Will. Say something. Hello.
There we go.
Good
so
man.
I gave him the opportunity to come in tonight, and he's taking it with both hands. And he was lucky enough to meet Bebe.
Yes, we'll preview Bebe off the top in just a second, but I want to talk to Tom Marcazzani about footy. You played a bit of footy yourself
Yeah.
on
Did
the
you?
weekend.
Yeah, I played again. Did both hammies.
No.
Yeah.
Really? In
Yeah.
one go, or just...
No, like
Did you
going
actually?
in. Oh, they both were like
Tall?
they were. No, it wasn't like a moment. It
You're
was
Trelaw.
like at the end of the game, I was like, it was hurting, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Who
yeah,
are we
yeah.
talking? Where did we who are we playing with?
Gobs.
Scob.
Yeah.
Scob old boys. The Masters though.
Oh, so
I'm
what's
old.
that? Over 30? Over 30s?
Yeah, you can have unders though.
Yeah.
Like it's under
Yeah,
over.
so
it's
it's vets.
35 and
Yeah.
or you can be 34, but you can have a couple of unders.
Well,
which
I
is
toyed
me.
with that idea last year. Sparky plays for Coldstream. I was going to go down. Went to the first training session. They beat it up like we get heaps on the truck. We got down there. It was me and the coach.
Yep.
And I'm like, nah, this isn't for me.
Yeah, it's a straight back in your car
Yeah,
job.
nah.
See, the thing I like about this is that I don't have to train, but I think I probably
Probably should with hammies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you go? How'd you actually go? Like, personally?
A couple of things,
Yeah.
you know.
What's your
But
setup? What are you? I couldn't put a finger on where you position. I'd say
tough.
I mostly
inside mid,
No, I mostly played like deep forward.
deep.
Yeah,
Ah, so Swatter.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Can't jump. Use my hips well.
Yeah.
Got a good grab.
Position. Yeah.
Hate running.
So goal square.
So
Yeah.
not the modern day.
So
footy player.
traditional
Nah.
deep square.
But
full
when
forward.
TH King, that's a ground that was our home ground. That was like a slop for a while. I used to play a bit in the midfield because everyone
Yeah.
was really slow in the slop.
How
And
good's
so that made a bit more sense. But now the ground's a bloody carpet. So
mate, it's nothing.
back to the forward.
It's one
line.
thing I couldn't go back to now. I haven't
What?
played for 5-6 years, so I played that charity match at
I want to.
grand
It's
final
a
day,
tough
and it was
game,
mate,
like for your body. You need to
Oh.
really need to like do the training stuff. Anyway, I had a kick. Did my hammies.
kick one.
Nah,
No,
Didn't kick any.
nah.
Come on,
So
you're,
no-
you're
no-
deep forward.
No
I was
reward.
playing like a centre half
decoy.
forward role,
Okay.
trying to offer leads.
Yeah.
Not doing very
I'm
well.
gonna
at
put a pin in the conversation because Scott will run with it and start talking about his own amateur footy career. So,
illustrious.
no, definitely not illustrious. I think he
Open
played
the
for 20
door.
clubs.
I didn't play for 20.
The journeyman.
I didn't play. For
Absolute
20.
no journeyman.
It was like
He just chased the
I didn't
cash.
play for 20. It was like 18.
Who's going to pay me
So-
next? Who's going to pay me next? He was just leveraging East Fremantle the whole time.
Well, why do you think I'm in sales, mate?
Yeah.
So
True.
sell yourself.
True, you're a smart man.
Mm.
Bailey Fritsch, we just had a chat to the
So good.
great man, and he was so good, and he opened up a bit about the performance last week, which was amazing, and it was very good to hear that. I'm going to put that out in the premium channels. I'm going to chop up like a third of it as well and run it free because I thought it was awesome and give the fans a sense of what he was talking about when he just spoke about, I guess, how we need to come to every game with that mental application that we were speaking about on the review podcast, how it's not good enough and how it's so goddamn hard to win games of footy. Like
every team
Yeah.
runs that, right? Like if you have an off night,
You
everyone
can't be
goes, you know,
5% off.
everyone says how difficult this competition is, and We're seeing it. I mean, Freo, they responded, and you can probably see them getting onto a roll now. And Bulldogs, we played them in round 1. We're like, they look awful, but they're getting back on a roll now. It's just like, if you have your night, you can beat anyone.
Yeah.
If the other team's off their game, it's see you later.
Yeah, it was a great interview, and Scotty, I loved your point about playing him at half back.
Yeah.
And just the way that you'd framed it to him, saying, is that one of the stupidest decisions that Goody's ever made? He
made a few on the weekend.
Yeah, but we'll get to that in a moment. But in a really, I guess, nice and kind way, Bailey pretty much alluded to that. He was like, yeah, what am I doing down back?
Yeah, 100%. So he was great. I fanboyed him hard, so I'm sorry, guys. Love him. He's my favourite. So it may come out in that way when you listen to it, but I don't really care.
Oh, well.
I love him.
But he was a really, he was very humbled, and
so
he
engaging.
Doesn't take for granted for 1 second the position he's in. And I guess that's probably from the pathway that he's come into the game.
We started on that journey at the start of it with us. He said, like, I fought my way in and to find my spot and to get to where he is. And he
now
went
he's our
long
best
road.
forward.
Yeah.
And now he is, and that's the point you made before.
He's been our best forward since David Neitz.
He's been exceptional.
Clinical. He's clinical.
Yeah.
Like, if it gets in his hands, opposition sides know it's going straight through the big sticks. So,
yeah.
And I think he's taken that pressure away from himself, where he said it to us that I think the mindset was he had to kick goals. Now he's so confident in what he does, and the work that he did away from the club to get him to that position is a testament to himself. So he's worked hard on his craft, and now he's a dead-eye dick. So
I genuinely loved the fact that when we're speaking to him before, and I interviewed him in 2019, which was the best and worst year. We ended up getting Cozzy, and Luke Jackson helped us win a flag, and we got Riv Dog out of that draft as well. Don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
So it was the best and worst year. Shocking year in isolation, but the draft was very kind to us. But you could just tell, like, the guy's 4 years on, his career trajectory has gone through the absolute roof. He's gone from, he would probably be the first to admit it, like maybe a little bit of a nobody. He's randomly in a back pocket, to suddenly kicking 6 in a granny, binning over 50 goals in 2 seasons, probably going to do that again this year, you'd have to say. And just the same bloke.
Yeah.
Just the same bloke. So humble, so
remembering
modest.
a text that you'd text with him from 2019, he'd gone back through his phone to check it. Like,
It's like,
that
what's
just
that
shows
It was his
that just shows
first,
the class of the bloke and the humble beginnings
His
he came
first
from.
media gig was us way back when, which is humbling.
Hey, 6 goals in a granny. He kicks one more. Is he nearly Norm in that granny?
Yeah.
Track was like, don't take anything away from track, but to kick 7 goals in a grand final
For
on
sure.
the biggest stage, do you think the tipping point would have been
I
that
think
extra
it's just
goal?
the only thing is like the margin that kind of
Yeah.
True.
does. And then,
Yeah, 70.
how often does a forward win the Norm?
Never.
True. And Track had 39 and 2.
40.
Yeah.
They pinched one.
Oh, he was Norm.
Yeah.
He was
but
not,
like,
but
yeah.
where does it tip? Like,
But he had 24 contested possessions.
Yeah. And like, but
crazy.
I think Salem in that first half was our best player. Like,
Gus
and
was pretty
I
good as
thought,
well.
Yeah.
Gus was very good. He
We had a
turned
few
the tide.
good
oh, we're going back now.
contributors.
It's too long
that day.
ago. We need another one here.
Oh, no, we need another one. Bailey was talking about that before. So if you want to have a listen to that for all the DeeBrief faithful, the full version on the premium feed. But Bailey was bloody amazing. Get yourself another frothy, Scotty. Just going to move on. Talk about the mood this week. So the mood. Losing to Essendon sucks. It sucks. But I was having a conversation with an Essendon supporter actually about this on Tuesday, because he expected me to be all glum and dim and, the world's caving in. We've just lost to the team that he knows. It's well documented in my friendship group. I loathe them. And I said to him, mate, it was easy to rationalise. It was easy to process because it wasn't Melbourne. We had so many passengers. It was a bad day at the office. I said to you before, Marca, off air, if we'd had a real crack, a real red hot crack, and still fell short, almost alarm bells. So many players looked like a shadow of their former selves in one game. Like, let's isolate it. So for me, my mood this week has been like, shrugged it off, will respond. haven't fed into the hysteria in some ways that other Melbourne supporters have, and they shouldn't. It's round 5.
Dealing with this stuff is to kind of see if there's like a consistent basis of this kind of performance. So, if it is in isolation and we come out this week and do a professional job and take care of Richmond, who are severely undermanned, then that's fine and you move on and then you forget about it very quickly. But if you put in a performance like that again, where we're very flat, the intensity clearly isn't there, our brand of footy isn't there, then you're allowed to start worrying and you're allowed to start asking questions and be like, what's going on at Melbourne at the moment? But until that happens, you're right, you don't win every game.
No.
If
you're not on, you're not on.
Yeah,
it's a glitch.
Yeah,
Last week's a glitch.
We spoke off air about the competition in itself and just how tight it is,
It felt the whole game for me was they were just waiting for a moment where they could go and put their foot down and do the Melbourne thing.
Yeah, what did I say to you?
Yeah.
It said like they were almost just waiting for that 15 minutes of football to happen to put on 6 goals.
But leaving it on the blokes like Clayton Oliver, Petrarca, Grundy, and it just never came.
And then the rain came, and then
it
kind of looked like their intensity
you can't
kicked
play.
up. It's like, well, the game's done.
We can't, and I've said this to you on the weekend, and I didn't want to go on Sunday because I didn't want to fuel the fire of how shit we were because I was pretty dark. But I think it was...
Oh, the pod, that is.
The pod, yeah.
But it also
was a
sounds like...
mindset.
But it also sounds like you two are probably more dark because of your hatred for
Essendon.
Essendon.
Oh, mate, we said it earlier. We were tormented by Essendon supporters, so we hate them.
I wasn't that
I
dark.
moved on pretty quick.
I wasn't.
But the during
Oh,
of the game.
the during was a train wreck. So
the during was enduring because I had my brother-in-law there who's Essendon mad. So
there's your first mistake. You never watch
Yeah,
it with
and
them. Actually, I was watching it with Coleman.
I blame my wife. So Kelly, Kelly, she invited him. I invited him
Will,
too.
did you hear that?
Yeah, you tell Mum.
Yeah, you tell
That's
Mum.
fine.
Yeah, exactly.
She won't listen to this.
Tell Mum.
But I guess I had to move on pretty quickly because I had a house full of people and I couldn't show my emotion. But I think I'm a bit 50-50. Like, I was like, meh, it's round 5. You can't win a flag in April. So let them have their little victory now. I think I'll be pretty upset. And I said this to Aid when I was texting. I said, if they dish that shit up again and that complacency, we'll get found out. And you get found out against Richmond if you do it. So
anyone.
It's anyone in the competition. If you are not on from the start, and perfect example of a perfect game plan to start a match. Look at how well Adelaide played. They were clinical.
But like in saying all of that, in the past when we have had a week where we've been like, oh, that just so wasn't our brand.
It happened again.
But this group...
Yeah, it doesn't happen twice.
It never happens twice. And I know for a fact that on Monday night we're going to come out and we're going to go really hard. And I'm not saying that we're going to 100% beat Richmond, but I mean, if we play our brand, we will. But I can't see Richmond kind of like... if matching us with their personnel out.
There's a lot to be said.
If we come out and play our brand.
Lever. I hate saying one player makes a difference, but he is our general of that whole back line.
Yeah.
It looked uneasy. But it looked mixed. It looked
I also
muddled.
feel like in this year we've also haven't had a complete settled side. I feel like there's always been at least one of our top 5 players coming in and out, and that happens. I'm not saying that that's like so like that's gonna happen, and it will continue to happen throughout the year.
And it's finding your feet when you're in those situations. So I mean, there's a few good ins to come in. We've said it before. We want to be cautious with Max.
The start of the game set the tone, just like Tomo giving away a free kick, which wasn't a free kick. Like, I'm not blaming Tomo for that, but like Phillips and Draper were kicking like the first 3. I was like, okay, it's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I thought it was always going to be close, but speaking to all the Essendon fans and all the Essendon mates that I've got, they just felt Melbourne's going to turn it. Melbourne, we're with them at quarter time. Well done. They're happy with that. They were complacent with that. Then it got to half time. Oh, we're up. Yeah, but Melbourne will run over us. Got to the third quarter, and then they're like, holy shit, we're going to win this. So they didn't have any great confidence.
Well, why would you?
And why would you? But
they're shit.
It's a glitch. It's a glitch.
It's the last time we're going to play this year.
There's no chance that those 2 rucks kick 6 goals or 5 goals in a half when Lever and Max Gawn are playing in our side.
And that goes back to what did I say last week about Grundy? How we were lauding him, and like every right, so like he has been playing well for us, but he hadn't put in like a really strong performance against 2 big-bodied ruckmen, which is tough. I'm not saying that he should be able to dominate those 2 players. Like he's not that kind of player.
No, he's not a defensive beast.
But there were kind of warning signs coming into that against those 2, and we flagged it. We flagged it before last week.
He's had a long layoff. He hasn't played a great deal of footy, and we've thrust him into 2 full games on his own.
Yeah,
So
but he's done well, Scott.
And he has done well.
Yeah.
But
And I want to preface that I'm not putting anything on him
mate,
saying
so
that he
many
should
people
have.
have tipped on him, and so many people want to tip on him because
hang on, they shouldn't.
They thought we
tip on
paid
him.
overs for him, but we're paying nothing. We got him.
Why are they tipping on him?
I don't understand.
Essendon did a marvellous job of capitalising. They nailed it. They knew going into that game. I spoke about this with the Sash boys as well. They were licking their lips going, 2 workhorses. Phillips is like an absolute battler.
He's an athlete.
But he gives 100%.
Yeah.
Draper's actually got talent, like clearly got talent.
He's a good ruckman.
He can become a very, very good ruckman, very good player of the comp in the next few years. Already kind of is, to be honest.
He is.
And they nailed it. And they exposed the fact that Grundy's probably not at optimum peak match fitness, so couldn't get back up the ground at different times. They just... Well done. Sometimes you got to just say well done.
But even if he could with Grundy, he's not going to be outbodying a Phillips in a marking contest or coming in for those big jukes like we know Max has done for so long.
Yeah,
and we hate comparing him to Max or thinking.
Yeah, there's a difference.
They're different players, and Grundy's incredible at that ground level stuff, and he's still got his 15 to 20 posies, and he was still, really serviceable for us in the game.
I'm going to ask you both a question. So, when was the last time that Max Gawn and Jake Lever were both out of the team?
Years.
When
both.
was it?
He's saying
both out
You've
of
got
the
the stat there, do you?
Lever did his knee 2015.
19.
Yeah,
but when was it? Can you remember? I'll let you know. I'll fill you in. It was round 16, 2019.
Yeah.
So we talk about...
At least you got one.
Well, you talk about interceptors and players behind the ball that can alleviate pressure. Max Gawn, one of the best, if not the best ruckman I've ever seen, kick behind the play, taking relieving marks. Jake Lever, easily and clearly, in my mind, and he's getting back to it this year, he's made such a good start to the season. He's the best aerial intercept player in the comp. So you take those 2 out of your...
pretty good too.
You take those 2 out of... Very good. You take them out of your team and suddenly you've got issues in the air. And we saw that. We got exposed. I think I completely undervalued and underplayed that. I thought it was going to be super, super, super wet. The rain held off in that first half. Essendon capitalised. They did an amazing job in their forward half. The other thing we're forgetting as well, and it'd be remiss of us, there was no pressure on the ball carrier. I think Jack Viney was the only mid that was running both ways. He was a bit sloppy in possession. I still didn't think
He always is, though.
He's getting better, but I didn't think he had a great game in terms of the way he used the ball. But he was one of the very few mids I was watching, and I went back and had a look at it as well, who was applying pressure, was sticking tackles. The amount of players that didn't stick tackles.
I also think that we're undervaluing Spargo and what he brings to our team and how he came off. And also, I just felt like when we did have possession of the ball, which felt like it wasn't very often for that first half.
It was slingshot. It was in, out.
But it was also like the way in which we were kind of dealing with the pill. And I am going to single someone out here, but I'm not going to say that he represented all of that. But it was just something that really stood out to me. Lockie Hunter was doing all these like ground handballs, and it just wasn't that kind of day to do that. And like
it choked it up.
I don't want to put too much. I don't want to put heat on him. Not that he's ever going to feel hate from me, but like, but like he's just something. That's just something. Yeah. That's just something that stood out to me. I'm like, we're playing too cute here.
I said it to 80 as well because I text my frustrations through the game. We were playing Hollywood football when conditions didn't suit.
Yeah.
And when conditions don't suit, you can't have those little quick flick handballs that Clary and Track and they all do. and you can't get momentum moving forward. There had to be a game shift and a coaching shift to say, hey, put the head over the ball. Let's get it at the stoppage. The one thing that we've struggled all year with is clearances, and we won the clearances on the night.
Yeah, it's
so
funny how that
you
works
fix
out
one
every time.
thing, but then you get a glaring open hole on the other side. It was just every time it went into their forward line, they were either getting it to ground or taking a grab. And that's unlike us. We hate teams scoring against us.
And
so
it's not like they have a back six, which is
no,
like,
it's not a daunting back six
like
like Ridley
formidable.
and all these other players. So
But anyway,
put it down as a mare, and I think
Yeah,
it's just
and
a
we
glitch.
have,
It's
and
a
now
glitch in the system.
it's
So,
a good opportunity to come into, what is, I guess, like our kind of.
It's a spectacle, mate.
It's
This
our
thing's-
night, right? I guess. Oh, King's birthday. Sorry,
Kings. Yeah.
But like they're our two kind of,
I'm putting this out there.
They're big
Monday
games.
night, Anzac Day Eve, is a far better spectacle for the last post than Anzac Day.
Yep.
visually and
Yes.
like yeah.
It gives you shivers.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I'm looking forward to Monday night.
I mean, obviously, Anzac Day has the day itself.
And,
to-
I'm not
to-
taking
yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah,
actual
yeah.
Anzacs, and I
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
the
yeah.
Anzacs to
Oh,
come
no,
after
no.
me.
But in terms of like as a visual spectacle,
As a build-up, like for big games,
the way we
a
do the
night
the
game,
flame and the
Yeah.
lights, yeah, it's cool.
it's
it
a
looks
big
good.
beat-up. And Bailey said it when he spoke to us. They've been to the shrine and had their shrine tour today and gone through the Anzac spirit and everything like that. So I'm expecting a spirited response.
I think it's just a bit, like it's quite eerie when you're at the MCG and it's completely pitch black and there's not a sound.
Nah, it's
but
fantastic.
there's say 80,000 people
And everyone's
there.
got their lights on their phone.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's
and
very cool.
it's nice that we've kind of made it our own.
Yeah, we're lucky to have it
Mm.
because years gone by we've been shit. So
Well, we hadn't deserved it.
we'd never deserved it. So now it's ours. Like it's one of the for me personally, it's one of the games you look forward to. And they're always been a benchmark for a lot of the competition. They've been one of the best teams in the last 6 years. So we get them at a good time, but fuck, they will not dish up that shit that they dish.
No,
up
they
on
won't.
Sunday
We're
night.
going to respond. I know that for a fact. But I mean, even coming into this season, say Lynch was playing, Nankervis was playing, I still just
I would
think
be confident.
I still just think we have their measure if we play our brand.
Yeah.
They're massive outs for them.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a ruck, and Lynch is clearly their most dominant forward.
Everyone's taken facets of their game. That fast, move it on forward at all costs. We do it. I think we just do it better.
And their playmakers
Clean.
out in Short. Short's a really important player for them.
He's an accumulator. He's pretty deadly. By foot, so
Very
But
good
you
player.
know, at the source,
Baker's still
we
one
have
of
to,
my favourite players outside the Dees. So.
we have to be on at the source. Like, and I have no doubt that we won't respond, as
We'll be
I've
fine.
mentioned plenty of times.
I'm more confident going in this week. When Lever went out going into the Essendon game, I was a bit I was playing it down like, we could lose today, and then kept saying it to try and reverse Moses. It just did not work.
I played that down because I had confidence that Adam Tomlinson would come in and do a role
Based on what?
based on what he's
Based
served
on
up
what
in
he's-
the first few rounds.
yeah,
Like he was
first
actually
couple.
really, really good.
Yeah.
No, he was. He was really, really good. And I thought this is a guy that had turned the corner after his ACL. It takes a long, long time to get back to your optimum. And last
There's
year,
also a flow-on
he struggled.
effect from what's happening further up in the ground. Clearly, there was a sense of, this Essendon team's pressure is like relentless at the moment, and he made that. The one glaring mistake was that handball directly over the line. Like clearly, they were
Yeah.
just like really feeling the pressure, feeling the heat,
Yep.
and when they're unsettled, this. But yeah,
But before I talk about teams, and we're going to wrap up with the tackle as well, it needs to be spoken about because it's been so topical this week. But
what are you?
I
That's
gave
a
myself
wormhome.
I gave myself a media ban.
no, we're
We
going to
lost
talk.
Essendon. I haven't watched any 360. I haven't listened to SEN.
Well, we're going to talk about the tackle. So, but we're not going to talk about it now.
It's so hard to adjudicate.
Just shush.
Far
Just
out.
shush. I want to talk about the occasion a bit. You guys were speaking about it there. This halftime break is thanks to Liquorland Liquorland have all your drink needs for when the siren calls, like the recently launched Victoria Bitter Extra Bottles, which is perfect to drink while you're watching the game.
VB, very for me.
Mate, those little ones, they're rockets.
True.
Little ones, the extras.
The extras.
Like little chuckwas.
Oh,
No.
Just
I'm
drink
gonna
it.
no.
Drink it and enjoy it, mate. Move on.
No?
Yeah, no.
Just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
Okay. Pop into your local Liquorland today. Try the new Victoria Bitter or shop online and click and collect in just 30 minutes. Liquorland, from the land you love. Please drink responsibly. Let's get into it. Well, let's get back to the show, boys. I was putting the teams up, so we'll get to that in a second as well. But
Oh, you multitasking.
I am,
Well done.
believe it or not. Anzac Eve, I agree with Marca as well. Like, King's birthday is such a special occasion as well.
We hate playing on Queen's birthday.
Well, we do, because we're 14, 6 and 1 draw, us being the 6.
This year's going to be huge.
It is.
too.
But Anzac Eve for me has become such a special occasion. Like, I get so excited about going to this game now. And you're right, Scotty. Like, this is the best team of the past, I don't know, decade in Richmond. Yes,
three and a half flags.
yes, they're on the wane. Well, they'll take 3.5.
2.5.
because they won 3.
2.5.
But this is a team that I've got a lot of respect for, and Richmond are a team that were very similar to our journey. They were in the doldrums for a long time. It's a 37-year drought. The year before, in 2016, they lose to Sydney in round 22-23 by 120 points or whatever it was, and people are questioning Damien Hardwick. Are we going to get rid of him? They persisted. They kept him. They structured a few other things in their department behind him. Suddenly, the next year, they win a fairy tale flag. Like, Richmond, for me, are a club I've got a lot of respect for because they've been through a similar journey to us.
I think there was a jealousy that they won it because we'd had our drought for so long, but you wanted them to win on that day. So
I'm happy.
I'm happy. I'd rather them than Collingwood. So
Yeah.
but now the tides are turned. Like, it's our time. We've got this list. We've got this group. So we need to forge past it, and now we need to start setting that. Like, last year was a real
It was a
kick in the ass, but I think it was more complacency and mentality. I think the hangover, everything. So this list is phenomenal. Like, it's a once in, like, you don't get this group. They're 20. I think the average age is 25 point something. We sit smack bang in the middle for age list in the comp. So this is our time. So I guess the biggest disappointment on the weekend is we've got the talent. We've seen the talent. Everyone in the league knows our talent. But the mentality, it's the 6 inches between their ears that really just stuffed us on the weekend.
Yeah, but
It's just a mindset.
Yeah, but the weird thing for me, and I was speaking to Richie Johnson about this on the phone like yesterday, because all I speak about is the Melbourne Football Club, was, and you're the same, Marca, is
I've got nothing else going on.
is the fact that I'm going to rattle these off the top of my head. So 2017, we go into a game against Collingwood in round 22, round 23. I can't remember when they made it 23, so fucking bear with me. Last game of the season. And we played that VFL side that Collingwood put out, and we lost. And then obviously Adelaide didn't do us any
It was
favours.
2017. You're right.
Yeah, and West.
Yeah, it's when we just missed by percentage.
so- hear me out on this.
I was on the flight.
Yeah, so hear me out on this.
I was watching the West Coast game the next day. It's like,
So that's complacency. I'll rattle off a few examples, and then
that brings back a lot of demons.
yeah, but we're going to jump through to 20.
Demons,
We're going to
pun
jump
pun.
through to 2020. 2020, Cairns, Sydney Freo, back to back, absolute capitulation. All we had to do was win one. Both of those teams, not crash hype, didn't win one.
Finished ninth.
Didn't play finals. Finished ninth.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's another one, right? When all the odds are stacked in our favour, we just didn't turn up. But this is a fascinating thing for me. In 2021, I think people often forget this. We lost to Adelaide by a point.
Oh yeah, there when that was a deliberate.
Red hot favourites.
Yep.
That you still cut about
The
the deliberate.
deliberate,
And
yeah.
we won the flag.
Yeah, mate. I hate that game still.
What?
Yeah, I don't care.
Keep going.
Just made the right call.
Okay. GWS at
Yes.
the G. You and Richie with
Yeah, we nearly punched on.
Oh, you're your best mates.
Yeah, but we're punching on with everyone around us.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was another one. We completely dropped our bundle. We also drew to
We
Hawthorn.
drew to Hawthorn.
And
Oh, that
here's
was
the kicker.
shit.
Collingwood.
Collingwood.
Yeah,
Oh,
Collingwood.
at what ground?
At the
SCG.
SCG.
And whose last game was it?
Buckley's. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we said it going into it, like they're gonna
it
gonna
was
go
just
win
like
it.
a
So
car-
I'm gonna turn this.
How many
into a
losses
positive.
is that? That was 1 draw and
4.
3.
It was 4. It was
4 and a
but we
draw.
lost to the Bulldogs in round 18 or whatever.
In the wet.
And they were good. So
Yeah.
whatever. We managed to come back. My point is, I would absolutely take losing to these lesser lights. If it just so happens to be that Melbourne have a little bit of a problem, bit of mental fragility, I would take all of them in the world again this year if it means that we go back to the promised land. So
Yeah.
is there an issue with complacency when we don't rock up to games we're expecting to win?
Yes.
There actually might be. And do you know what? It might not. I know it kills us and we're like, fuck, go and do a job, get it done. In the same way that Geelong in that first half against West Coast on the weekend, I'm just staunching them. And people messaging me going, why can't we do this? Why don't we come out and smash teams like
We did
this?
it the week.
There's a
Like-
difference between West Coast and Essendon as well.
Yeah, but Melbourne, but this is the thing. If Melbourne
Where do we
have,
think Essendon's at though?
who cares about
Yeah,
Essendon?
no, but
We're
are
not
they
talking
as
about
good? Yeah, I
Essendon.
know that. But
They're shit. They won't
Okay.
play
I
finals.
think we know that that's the only time we're going to play Essendon this year.
Correct.
Like that's we're not going to play them until next year.
Exactly.
Like, that's a
I just
fa-
wanted
like,
to hear it.
I'll
mate.
call
It's
that a
music,
I'll call that a
music to
fact
my
right
ears.
now.
I'm just asking.
They're not playing
Hard-hitting
finals.
questions.
They're,
But
they're
We
an
spoke
improving
about
team.
this last week on the pod, and like beating Sydney. That's why beating Sydney is worth.
Oh, that is the godsend what we did to
It's
them.
it's
And we
it's
gave
it's
them a
worth
toucher.
it's worth more wins, and then we
Yeah.
said that's why when we played Collingwood next, that's worth like, it's the same thing. And I'm hearing you, and I
get
mean,
where I'm going with it,
yeah.
If that's what it's going to be.
It's like when Hawthorn was doing their dynasty stuff, they were losing to North every year.
Brisbane was a
You know
glitch
what I
as
mean?
well. Like,
Nah.
Oh,
I think conditions, and I said conditions killed us. Like,
Yeah,
the,
what
the way we
conditions
play
killed us?
up there, their conditions are hard. They
Oh,
train
yeah.
it, they play it. It's 30 degrees, it's 80% humidity.
The Brisbane one's easy, Scott. The
We
Brisbane
nearly
one's easy.
won it when we had 10
No,
minutes left.
Yeah, true.
yeah,
But
the game was a weird game. That was done.
I'm
It
not
was
even
done.
bothered about the Brisbane one
Collingwood got a
because
touch
it's
up
two.
up there
It's
too.
two things. It's Max goes down, everyone freaks out and panics, and then
Yeah.
Collingwood got smashed against Brisbane.
It's
Brisbane are really
so
good at home.
early. It's so early.
I don't even know why you
They've
bring it
probably
up.
lost 4 of their last 20 up there. So it's like that's if that happened at the G, and
Anyway, it's fine. Boys, we're going to get to some squad changes or
Oh.
team news.
Ours will be extended bench anyway.
Well, yes, that's the point.
Yeah, come on. Man. It took like 10 minutes before while we were
how
having a
many
nice
like
conversation.
6
No,
on the
I
bench?
was sick,
I was-
sick of the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to get my point out.
Yeah, you love having a point.
Yeah. So do you.
I'm doing a podcast with brothers in case
big brother,
the
little
listeners
brother.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a bit testy in here,
No,
Marco.
it's not, mate. Pull your head in.
Okay, so Inns as Will plays his Nintendo Switch. Bailey Laurie, Disco Turner.
Okay.
Oh, yes. We've been calling for that.
Sure, she's not coming in.
He will.
Shut up. Jake Lever. I'm back to shut up because Scott's on the pod. Or Nuggets. Luke Dunstan comes in as well. Max Gawn has been named for now. I reckon he'll be a late change.
Yeah.
And Michael Hibbard is also in. Out. Adam Tomlinson's been omitted.
Ooh.
It's the right call. Charlie Spargo injured with concussion.
Yeah.
That umpire is a dog.
Yeah, why? Put him on the mark.
And then Jake Melksham's been omitted as well. So, boys, first thing, we'll go back to Max. I just get the feeling we're playing funny buggers. We're playing mind games. If he gets
won't
named,
play.
if he gets named in the 22 on Saturday evening, I'm expecting the same thing as Ben Brown last week. I'm
Laid
expecting a laid out. The interesting thing is Ben Brown actually not being included, so his back's probably a little bit worse. Than
Oh,
we thought.
Ben's not on that.
No, he's not in there.
Ah.
No. So that's the other interesting thing.
What
to come
is
out
the
of it.
issue with his back? Do we know, or is it just it's just sore and
No.
Shag.
Backs are weird.
Shag is back.
Yeah.
backs are weird?
They are. They're strange.
They can get you. You can have one day, wake up and you're gone.
Oh yeah, backs are no good.
Yeah.
It's only it could be twist anything.
I-
There wasn't an incident in that game. Did he fall or get hit or
No, it was a
Nah.
training thing. It was a training issue.
But like
No, in the game, yes.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. I think
but
he,
as we've said,
aggravated
They're
it.
debilitating
previously
back
today-
injuries sometimes too.
as we've said, they don't have Nankervis. They don't have Ivan Saldo. Like, it's not like that we need a Brown
It's
because
Granny
I'll
can have a go. Have a
I'll back
crack.
in a JVR in the ruck.
Yeah.
And I'm loving that he's getting this run of games. Like this is
Yeah,
so,
it's not us. It's not
this
us.
is so important
Yeah.
for him and his development to be getting these games into him.
Agree.
And now he's going to be playing in a big crowd, in like a big spectacle, and I think that's really important. And if I'm honest, I'm going to back in Grundy to, put in another performance against an understocked, in terms of ruck, Richmond.
Do you reckon we've learnt from what we did with Wiedemann and a few of the other these key forwards where we were in and out, and then they didn't get any continuity? Do you reckon the pennies finally dropped for Goody and the team? Because
there must be something in that, but also, I mean, Wiedemann was around for a lot longer than what we've seen of JVR, but
JVR's
from
come on
from
quicker,
what
I guess.
from what I can see of JVR, he has this kind of like there's a mentality there from what I can see already, and
He's
that's
got the bounce like
he plays like a key forward.
he does. When the ball hits the ground, he bounces, and then he looks like he wants to hurt people.
Yeah,
He's gonna
he's got the
He's
stride.
gonna get caught. Some of the front on bumps he was doing, the late hits he was doing, I love it, but rein in a little bit. But
He's okay. I like. The
he's a
stride.
young kid. He doesn't have his frame yet, his size, so he can sort of throw his weight. But
He plays like a deep forward at Scobbs.
Yeah,
yeah,
But I just love the way he attacks the ball.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And there's no like I don't know. It's not like he doesn't look like he's.
He plays freely
He's
like
upset,
a kid that's enjoying
you know.
it. He doesn't have that. It doesn't look. You could see Wiedemann playing footy, and you could see the mental side.
But
of it.
obviously he spoke about this. He's had a whole year of Stafford drilling in his
What you
ear,
gotta
like,
do.
mate, you're not going to come in here and kick bags of goals. And look, if you kick goals, that's great. But
Yep.
That's
this
not your
is
job.
this is what your job is. It is to lead. It is to provide us with good patterns. It is to provide us with an option, and is to like crash packs. And that's what he's doing.
It is a big week for a man that is still named in the 22, and I thought he was bang average last week, and he had a really encouraging performance the week before. Tom McDonald, your mate Scotty, he needs to step up and start building some consistency in his game because he was so poor last week. So
yeah,
poor.
he got found out, Big Tom. But
Come on, Tommy.
his best is what we've seen when he's fit, firing.
Yeah, we know that, but he also hasn't had his
But you
like
can't rest on that.
he hasn't had his best for a while, and like he's coming off a
But
big
he's another
injury.
one. You've got to keep him in for
Really?
A few. Yeah, I
Nah.
think so.
Ben Brown's ahead of him for me.
Oh,
Easily.
This year, yeah.
Yeah,
Easily.
But
But
I'd flip a coin for
Nah.
me.
But I'll give
biased.
T Mac.
Yeah, I am.
I'm giving him leniency because at his age, if you do
Yeah, he's
miss a
getting on.
really big chunk of footy, like it's quite rare that you really come in and hit the ground running and go bang. And
It wasn't the night for a key forward.
no, but I think also like there's a way.
It wasn't for us. The way we were putting it in 50, it was in out.
It was a night for a couple of ruckmen wearing opposition colours,
Yeah,
just
that-
clunking
no,
them.
that was a rare thing for.
But
those
there's
defenders.
if the conditions are tough for a forward, there's a way in which you can still play, and that is to be there, be
Lead
an
up.
option.
Yeah.
You know, your patterns have to be well.
Nah,
you
stuffy
know.
Tom, you got to pull your finger out this.
No,
week.
he does. And I'm going to put another player on notice who is...
Jesus, you're going after everyone.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying these guys need to respond. They would be the first people to sit there and review their game and go, I need to step up. And this guy is probably one of the most, I don't know, he's the harshest critic I've ever seen on himself in a football
Track.
that's played for our football club. And it's not Track, he's one of them as well, but Stephen May.
Oh yeah,
He was
yeah.
off.
But Tracks, I thought you were going to say because he's always super critical of himself.
Stephen May.
But like, How often have we seen May play a game like that?
Very rare.
Yeah.
But I'm just making the point. Like, that's another guy, and we spoke
There's
about
a bit
it.
of finger pointing too from him. He's dropped his head.
Yeah, but he wasn't getting the right spots.
He was woeful.
I was
They put him in our best.
Scotty, I was finger pointing the TV, being like, "Why are you so out of position at times?" Anyway,
Headless Chook.
Stephen May, in the same way that we saw with
He still owes us for last year.
Shut up. With Track and Clary. Track and Clary after round 2 against Brizzy.
Put their hands up.
And they put their hands up. They spoke about it in the aftermath. And then what did we see against Sydney? I reckon Stephen May, such an honest character, I reckon he'd be thinking a similar thing. He'd be like, far out. That was so far from my best. I really need to ramp it up this week.
And I have no doubt that he won't play well. You know what I mean? Because as we've mentioned, he doesn't play poorly very often.
Not 2 games.
And like the whole team, there's going to be a blimp every now and then. And May from my memory anyway, he dominates Richmond. And usually when Lynch is playing, he
loves playing Lynch.
He loves Lynch. Yeah. So good luck to Jack Rewalt.
Giraffe on skates,
good
Samson,
luck
whatever
to
his
Jack
name
Rewalt
is playing,
this week. That's all I can say.
Yep. I just want to highlight a couple of Richmond players. So I reckon Marlon Pickett, I've been watching a bit of Richmond this year. Like, Marlon Pickett is playing some serious footy. Some serious footy.
He wants to hurt blokes.
Anyways, just a player I wanted to point out. And then the other one I wanted to point out, who I think is going to be more of a household name in coming years, I reckon Noah Cumberland's got it.
Yeah.
Like, I reckon he's, like, you can tell.
Yeah.
The other one's Judson Clark, I think. I'm like, whoa. That boy's got it too. So they're just a couple.
I'm not too concerned about Hopper and Taranto. Taranto's a junk kick. Like, he cannot kick.
I just think they're both incredibly overrated. It was a media thing. We spoke about it on our...
Well, they're talking about it all
pre-season
week,
pod.
mate. They've been talking about that they gave away the house to get those two
that
blokes.
sucks because now you know that they're going to come out and probably like...
Yeah, because they're going to listen to this.
No, they'll be listening to the pod
No,
for
not to
sure.
this, but in terms of the... because the AFL world is saying...
Yeah, they're saying
well,
they're paying overs.
You've paid overs. So...
Oh, mate. And
again, they would hit. They would get back to them.
Yeah, but hang on. Like, I agree with that, and I was thinking about that myself. Like, Richmond are on 1 win, 1 loss. They're sitting, I think, in the bottom 4 at the moment. People are saying it's the end of an era, end of a dynasty, blah, blah, blah. They're getting smashed from pillar to post in the media. In the same way that Melbourne have been questioned this week as well. If Richmond come out, all guns blazing, just absorb it, Melbourne.
Weather it.
Yeah.
Like, just absorb it.
Yeah.
And like, everyone says it, and it's an old adage, like, expect their best. But, like, expect them to come out. And the other thing I wanted to point out before was, if you can't get up for an occasion like an Anzac Eve clash, you're playing to commemorate the people that have fallen for this country, that have given you all these liberties and, like, given us the lifestyle that we lead and all the sacrifices that these brave young men made. Like, if you can't get up for that.
Yeah. And,
like, both teams.
And, like, we spoke to Bailey Fritsch tonight and, they mentioned that they went to the shrine today and...
It's a big build-up. It's a
great
tradition. It's a great thing.
They know. And if they're
might.
not educated going into their AFL career, they will be. And they clearly are. And it's yet another part of the AFL world that we really do a good job of, we not being me or us, but like the AFL, I'm speaking on behalf of them, that they do a really good job of tipping their hat at what the Anzac Day represents and the significance of it.
So, boys, just before we wrap up, I think Bailey Laurie is just the perfect replacement for Charlie Spargo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We agree with that.
I think we have to reward form in VFL.
Yep.
Because we didn't do it last year. And I think you have to, otherwise these players who are on the edge of coming into the team will probably in their own heads start to get a little bit like, well, what's the point?
Well, our steak knife set kick 4 again on the weekend. I messaged you earlier, Shacky. So, no. The old steak knives.
You wanted checking in, but I think you were just getting a bit too knee jerk.
I'll get ahead of myself.
You're getting a bit too knee jerk with that one.
I think you got to kick 8 in the VFL to be.
I think, look,
warranted to come into the AFL.
Of
in
course.
the VFL to come in the AFL.
I think for me, like, Laurie's an obvious choice for Spargo. I think Jake Lever is a big in. I'm expecting him to play.
I'd love to see Disco get a crack.
Disco, I can't imagine he'll get a crack. He'll remain an emergency in the same way that Luke Dunstan will. And then it's a toss of the coin whether Max Gawn plays or not. I don't think he will.
I don't think he will.
But
We don't need him.
the other player as well.
Not this week anyway.
No.
The other player as well, Marca, you miss his grunt in the back half, is Michael Hibbert. If he comes in,
What was wrong with him?
I'm okay with that. What was wrong with him? Ankle.
Yeah.
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 No,
So,
get the pig in.
Hibbo, if
Love
he comes
him.
in, so be
Yeah.
it. I'd be stoked with that because it was another quality that
cool
was
head.
missing. Well, it wasn't more not the coolness for me. It was more just the lack of pressure on the ball carrier and the lack of intent in our back half was so evident against Essendon, and Pig just fights till the death.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Because he was only one game back after a suspension and had glimpses.
He was
so
okay.
He was okay, but
Get him back to the fortress.
yeah.
Get him back
It was
to the
his
G.
second game back.
Second
wasn't
game
it?
back, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So expect him to fire a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Hibbo's the definition of grit.
Yeah.
Correct.
He's like glue to that back six.
And you know,
Riv-
people
Riv's-
like
Riv's
May,
doing
when you look
Riv.
to your left and if you got
Yeah.
Hibbo there, you go, okay.
What are we thinking predictions wise? Where are we going? Where are we going? Adzi isn't here, so we don't have an 80-point plus.
Yeah,
prediction this week.
I know for a fact that we're gonna respond, but I also, I'm not sure what kind of Richmond we're gonna see, but it looks like, judging from last week's game, that they are having a crack at the moment, Richmond.
Yep.
But I just think that the personnel that they have out is just
Professional win.
so
Just get it
important
done.
for them. Like it's like Lynch and Nane Curvis. I've mentioned it many times on this pod, and Short as well. I feel like he's underrated in what he provides for them. And you know, if they do have this stellar run at the start, as you said, we just have to absorb it and just do our thing and play our brand. And I just think we're gonna have a professional 20 to 30 point win.
Okay, I'll back that in. Hopefully not 9-22 like last season. I think we kicked.
I think we'll do what we did to Sydney.
I hope so. Jaden Short, just need to make mention, back in for the Tigers. A massive in for them.
Oh, he is playing.
Yep.
Okay, we lose.
We
Nah,
win by
I want the response that we had after the Brisbane game. I want 57.
57.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a staunching?
But they're with us, then we just blow. Bailey kicks a few
Yeah.
points out to the debrief, and
Takes you up on that game of golf.
he will.
God, that was dragging on, wasn't it? Gosh.
Good on
Yeah,
him.
the Sparky.
Ugh.
Fritsch
I
Electrical for all your electrical needs.
I've got his number. I can shout it out. I won't do that. Yeah, look, for me, I'm kind of in the same camp as Marca. As much as I want a bit of foot on the throat,
Let's
maybe
just take wins, man.
we just got it. We just got.
Our percentage is mint.
It all starts from the start, and you see what if you get a good start, you absorb it, have that comfortable three goal lead for the majority of the game. They come back, the ebbs and flows, the momentum shift, everything like that. Then just put the foot on the throat in the last.
Yeah,
The weather's good, yeah.
I think so.
Looks nice.
I think it looks really nice. I'm taking a similar margin to Marca. I'm taking like 20, 30 point win.
24 and sunny. Mwah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's going to be nighttime. There won't be any
That's
sun,
perfect.
but like, you know.
But Melbourne really have proven that they've got a good track record of backing up and responding after losses. So I think we'll see a similar thing here. But just be respectful. Just be respectful.
They are a good team. Like they
Yeah.
are well drilled. They're a good squad. So
Yeah.
don't go in with the same complacency we had against Essendon. Does not happen.
Yeah,
It won't
We
happen.
win.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a great occasion. My mail as well, as we're looking at anywhere in the vicinity of about 75,000 people
Shit.
there. So good turn up. You'd hope, looking at this fixture on paper before the start of the season, if you were like the CEO or anyone within the club, you'd be hoping that Richmond were like up and about.
Is it theirs or ours?
It's ours.
It's
ours.
ours. Yeah.
You're hoping for a massive turnout. But even if we get in the vicinity of 70, 75, it's going to be an amazing occasion. I can't wait to be there. And I can't wait for Melbourne, hopefully, fingers crossed, to get the 4 points, go to 4-2. That puts us like third or fourth. Then you got that nice run on paper
Yeah, let's not go into that.
where we can capitalise, but just get the confidence back in the group, get the win, and don't play Max.
Don't play. You're going to finish on that. Boom.
I'm going to finish on that. Don't play Max.
They won't.
Nah, hope not.
Back in Grundy.
Yeah, we're back in him. Hotel Collingwood.
Mm.
Scotty and I and Will are going to pop in there. And Will, you got to say a few words. So
Come on,
up
Will,
here.
come and say something.
Just quickly, as the giant moves the table,
I did,
and
sorry.
nearly breaks it.
No, I wouldn't have broken it. What do you want to say?
What do you want to say, mate? Give us something.
Come on, tell us something.
I don't know.
What do you want to say?
on.
Who's going to kick the most goals this weekend?
Come on, mate. You?
No, he's thinking.
Oh, is that thinking?
Is it going to be Cozzy?
Come on, Will. Dead air's not good.
Dead air's not good, mate.
Not good with
Come
radio.
on, quick.
Cozzy.
Cozzy.
Yeah.
Who's your
Great
favourite
call.
player? Isn't it Track? I thought it was Track.
You've gone through a few, haven't you?
Yeah,
Max, Track.
yeah. Come on. Give us a player, mate.
Come on. Why are you going shy?
Maybe he's bamboozled. There's too many.
Mate, you've talked all the way in. You can talk a little bit here.
No, he's got.
What do you think
stage
of talking to Bebe?
Cameras are on. I like that. Yeah, you need to shoot you down, Scotty. Marca, thank you.
You're welcome.
Scotty,
See you on
Adrian.
Monday night.
Thank
at
you,
some
and,
stage, no doubt.
we really appreciate Scotty
What about
just
me?
buddying up with Baby. Oh, you want to talk now, do you? What do you want to say?
No, you want to be thanked.
Oh,
for coming in.
Are you going to go on Monday night?
you
We
going
haven't-
in?
We haven't worked that out yet, have we?
Or is it too late for you? Because how old are you? Like 4, right?
6.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah, got that one wrong.
6.5 or just 6?
6.5.
6.5.
Imagine not
Nice.
knowing your nephew's age.
Oh, I don't know.
4,
Anyone.
you didn't.
I've got 9 of them, and I
course
just
I
like,
didn't, man.
just have a guess every
Yeah,
time.
you just have a.
I know
have a
their
pop.
names. That's enough.
Bebe, Fritter, Tata, go and listen to it. It's on premium. I'll put it out in the socials tomorrow. As I said before, run a considerable amount of that in the free feed as well because
Yeah, it was good. He was awesome.
you know we got to monetize this bad boy somehow so we can afford this studio and work with the likes of Derek. And Derek, a shout out to Castaway Studios, of course, in Collingwood. Oh,
Very accommodating.
He's happy. If you want to do a potty, hit him up. We'll put that out in the socials too. Anyway, that's it. Mark, I might see you at Punt Road if things get a bit hairy and I need someone to confide in. But fingers crossed, we'll
Won't
get the job done.
Go Dees.
Thanks for listening.
Go Dees.
Thanks for listening to the debrief. And of course, a big thanks to Liquorland, who are proud partners of the show for another season of footy. Liquorland have all your drink needs for when the siren calls. Pop into your local Liquorland today or shop online to pick up all your favourites in time for the game. Liquorland, from the land you love, please drink responsibly. Hope you enjoyed it.